Welcome to Comm 130 Interpersonal Communication, Fall Semester 2025. I am Furman Irigoyen, your professor for this semester. I'll be going over your syllabus as well as your Canvas shell in this video. As you can see here on the top of the syllabus, you'll have my contact information. My preferred method of communication is through email, and the best way to get a hold of me is through the email function on our Canvas class shell. The textbook we will be using is Looking Out, Looking In by Adler and Proctor, the 16th edition. If you happen to get the 15th edition, that'll work well too. But please get your textbook as soon as possible. I cannot stress this enough because we will be hitting the ground running at the start of the semester, and you don't want to fall behind. I really don't care what version you get, the electronic or the paperback version. As long as you get the textbook, you'll be fine. Here are student learning outcomes. I will let you read those at your leisure. Of course, we have specific instructional objectives. I'll let you read those at your leisure. Here is our grading breakdown. I grade on a straight scale, so there's no plus or minus grading, as well as percentages are rounded down. So in other words, an 87.8 is still an 87%. A 79.9 is still a 79%. There are 3 parts that make up your final grade for the semester. That is your participation, your assignments, as well as your quizzes. So participation is 20%, your assignments are worth 20%, and your quizzes are 60%. Please note, please review your assignment scores promptly. Assignment scores not questioned within 3 days after the assignment scores have been awarded will be considered final. Here is our class schedule, and the way to read it is week 1 starts on August 11th, which is the Monday. So all of these dates are Mondays, and that's the week of what we're working on. I have all of this information in our Canvas shell. So on day 1 of the semester, all of our assignments have their due dates already posted in Canvas, and you'll be able to access your Canvas calendar and see what is expected when on day 1. Here I have some Comm Lab module assignments. Again, all of your assignments are in great detail in Canvas. I just have a little backup here in the course syllabus, but everything is in Canvas. Here I have attendance and participation. So for those taking my course online, that's basically doing your assignments, submitting them on time. My face-to-face means coming to class, as well as actively being engaged in our class. Coming to class on time, not leaving early. If you happen to have a situation, talk to me in advance. We could probably work something out. If you're having a hard time coming to class, and absences are considered excessive when the student has been absent twice the number of clock hours that the class meets during a week, he or she may be dropped by the instructor. So if you don't come to class, I could drop you. Again, I go into what is participation. I think that's more for our in-class face-to-face sections. We do have a technology policy here in the Comm Studies department. I'm not sure if that's going to be very applicable for our sections here. For our in-class face-to-face sections, I do not want to be video or audio recorded in class. Now this one is a big deal with me, is the academic integrity. I don't want you cheating, so please do your own work. I don't want AI generated assignments completed. You'll know that when you take your quizzes, you'll be using Proctorio. So I'll be sending out class announcements on how to add the extension to your Google Chrome for Proctorio. You will see that in Proctorio, I'll give you contact information for their tech support. So oftentimes what happens is that for some sort of computer shortcomings on your part, you may need an access code. I do not provide the access code. I cannot stress that enough. I do not provide the access code. It's your job to contact tech support. So I have all of that in class announcements that will be coming to you via Canvas. If I do suspect cheating on your quizzes, because I do get reports from Proctorio, as well as if I get a sense that there's some cheating going on and we come to an agreement that there was cheating involved, you'll be receiving a 0 for the assignment. And if this continues, you'll be sent to the college disciplinarian. Here's another thing that I'll stress. There are no makeup exams. No late work will be given or accepted without prior approval of me. I give you a lot of leeway to get your assignments done. Usually I open the assignments on a Monday. They are closed on a Friday. I open quizzes on a Monday. They're closed on Friday. I can't help you if you can't get your work in within those 5 days. So please, no late work, will be accepted. All of your quizzes come directly out of the textbook. Early on in the semester, you will be receiving a very detailed study guide for the entire course. Please follow that study guide and you'll be in really good shape for this class. Again, do not cheat in my class. I provide you all the tools to be successful. There's no makeup or extra credit. We don't do extra credit in my classes. Let's do the job right the first time. Email is the primary way of getting a hold of me. The best way to get a hold of me is through the Canvas email channel. I want to bring attention to you regarding some resources on campus. We have the Disability Resource Center. CSM provides reasonable accommodations to provide eligible students with disabilities. You will need an accommodation letter. Here's all their contact information. Additionally, we have a Communication Studies Lab, which can assist you in all of your courses in the Comm Studies discipline. It's located in the Learning Center, which is in the College Center, Building 10. We have recording rooms and computers and areas for small group work. And it's an excellent resource. You'll find many of your professors working there. They can help you with assignments. Also, we got the college library. I can't stress that enough as how valuable our librarians are to your success. Of course, we have counseling. That is their contact information there. In addition, we have the Personal Counseling and Wellness Center. They are located in Building 1. Moreover, we do have a sexual harassment policy, so you can read that policy in greater depth. So now we're going to send you over to the Canvas tour. So I'm wishing you the best of luck, and I look forward to working with you this semester. All right, so here we are at our Canvas homepage. You can see you'll have your class section and CRN and all that stuff. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm just using this as a template. If you're in a different section, the material, the content, everything is the same. So here you got my contact information. Again, one more time, my preferred method is the email. The email. There's also a function over here on your inbox that allows you to email me, and that's also a good way to get a hold of me. As I mentioned here, you got 24, I will probably respond back within 24 to 48 hours. And here you'll see a link to your syllabus. You can download that if you like. Over here, you'll find a link to this video. So if you want to see this once again, you will be able to capture that on this link. So here, one of the things I wanted to share with you is I send out a lot of announcements that will be delivered to you, and they're important messages. I try not to communicate too much so that when I do communicate, it matters. You should be able to access these messages via your email and your messages on Canvas. On assignments, let's take a look at our assignments. So we have, in our grading, we have participation, Comm Lab modules, and quizzes, and that makes up 100% of your score. So with your 10%, your participation, you'll have a syllabus quiz, and you'll have a self-introduction. Again, all of the details are in the assignment itself. Now for our Comm Lab modules, as you can see, this takes up 20%. You will need your textbook to answer these questions. There's a bridge between your textbook content and your own personal experiences. When you read these assignments, please read the assignment and be crystal clear as to what I'm asking for. In addition, when we do our Comm Lab modules, I will need you to fill out a Google form in addition to the assignment, a Google form that's sort of a self-assessed chronicle that you did this assignment, the length of time you did this assignment, that will be sent over to our Comm Lab over in Building 10. There's really no right or wrong answer in terms of how much time it takes to do any of these assignments, okay? So just document, and it doesn't have to be 43 minutes and 22 seconds. You can say 45 minutes. Please keep in mind that when you do any of these Comm Lab module assignments, please fill out the self-assessed form for the Comm Lab, and you'll find that form with all of these assignments, so it's all in one place for you. Next is the quizzes. One of your class announcements that'll be coming out shortly will be a study guide for the entire course. And that study guide tells you exactly what I'm looking for each of your quizzes. So if it's on the quiz, it's on your study guide. Okay? If it's not on the study guide, it ain't on your quiz. So keep that in mind. All of the content for your quizzes come directly from the textbook. I do use Proctorio to proctor these exams, these quizzes, and you'll need to use Google Chrome, and you'll need to find the Google Chrome, the Proctorio extension, And when you do your quizzes, you'll go to Google Chrome and you'll access Canvas. Of course, you'll have your Proctorio extension downloaded. And for whatever reason you have any trouble, please contact Proctorio tech support. Do not contact me. I'm not tech support. Okay? I'm not tech support. Do not contact me regarding any Proctorio issue. You will find specific videos on how to download the Proctorio extension, as well as the contact information for Proctorio when you're taking your quizzes. I can't strongly stress that it's important that you get started on these quizzes when they open, so that if something does arise, you have time to work out those bugs on the technical side. So for example, like quiz number 1, it's due on September 9th at 11:59. And if you're starting this whole process at, let's say 10 o'clock, just for kicks, on the 9th, and you didn't download the Proctorio and there's other technical glitches, and we go past this deadline, I don't give up makeups and I don't allow extended time, so to speak, to get this assignment done. Okay, so essentially for each of these little quizzes, which I think is about 30 questions, I'm giving you 4 days to do a quiz. That's 30 questions. 4 days. That's a lot of time. But make sure you get all of that stuff squared away. Again, critical information like videos on how to download the Proctorio extension and the tech support, you will find those, okay, coming through your class announcements. So you have to be on top of that stuff. Also, I have class lecture videos for every chapter in our textbook. It's all here, gang. It's all here. So keep that in mind. You have a lot of resources right here in Canvas. Got all the lectures. Usually I have like an open date and perhaps a due date and that sort of thing. When in doubt, you can always go to my YouTube channel, and I'm sure you could find all of these lectures going around these due dates. If you just go to my YouTube channel, you will need a textbook for you to do your modules. And again, it's the 15th edition of Looking Out, Looking In. I really don't care what format it is. Probably the quickest way to get it is an electronic version, if there's one out there, or rent an electronic one, as long as it's the 15th edition. Now, grades. Click on the grades, and you are able to see how you're doing in the course. I think that's a pretty good link. So keep an eye on that stuff. Again, when you do a quiz or a lab module or an assignment, after I post them, your scores up, you got 3 days to address any concerns. After that, you're out of luck. Staying on top of what's due, when it's due, and that sort of thing is very, very, very important. So under syllabus here, come here and you'll see this really cuckoo function on Canvas where we go to syllabus and you'll see 2020. And this really threw me off when I started working with this. And so the nice folks at Canvas thought, I think it's a really good idea if we put a link all the way up here, which no one will see, that'll jump us to today. So even that jump, we're still getting around May 11th of 2022, but you will see that we have assignments that are due, and you can find that all here. You also have a calendar, which I strongly recommend that you click on that box that says your Comm 130 class, so that when your calendar pops up, you'll have those assignments. But the syllabus here, you'll know exactly what's going on, what week, that sort of thing. And for greater detail on the assignment, of course, you can click the link and you'll see how everything goes. You'll have all your quizzes. Usually they are 2 chapters at a time. The reason why I do chapters, 2 chapters at a time, is because I think it's a much more manageable workload for everybody. It allows you to stay focused, and it allows you to kind of contain information in short bursts. Each of your quizzes cover 2 chapters. They're true, false, multiple choice, maybe some matching. They're 30 questions. Again, everything's on the study guide. So I think that pretty much covers everything that you'll need to know to be successful in our course. So again, if you have any questions, we can do it by email, and that'll be the best way for us to stay in contact. When in doubt, your Canvas page and this video really guide you in terms of answering a lot of questions. That is our tour. We looked at the syllabus and we looked at the Canvas, and I think that's all we've got. So good luck to you guys, and again, if you need anything, contact me by email.